I wanted to give a little more of a breakdown of my main system that I use that I've developed over the past decade or so. It's always come down to the big five that I talk about: having some order flow information, having some volume information with these volume candles indicators, also the volume profile on the side, and then we've got support and resistance in the form of these pivot points and yesterday's high, low, and close, and also the moving averages on my charts. And then price action, you don't need an indicator for, and volatility, that does not involve an indicator, at least with my system. That just means trading at the right time of day and trading when there's enough volatility to move price around to your targets. I wanted to share how you could kind of duplicate or mimic this system just using free indicators or the built-in NinjaTrader indicators. Obviously, if you just have the lifetime version of NinjaTrader, you'd have all the tools that you would need. They have a volume profile, they have some order flow. I've just been using the Ninza indicators. Using their indicators was what finally enabled me to really fine-tune my own systems and customize everything that I knew I wanted to see and make it look how I wanted to look, so I can have a quick glance of the charts and know exactly where I want to be, what my next move is. Today is August 29th, Tuesday. We've already had a nice big move up for the market open. We were looking to possibly test the highs from the Nvidia pop last week when the market spiked up a couple hundred points right after Nvidia earnings. And so far, the first 5 minutes of the market open, we got this huge boner candle to the upside. We got a bunch of volume coming in, 17K, which is pretty good for the NQ on the 5 minute. Got a nice little retracement right back to VWAP. And then we just have been taking off, knocking out these support and resistance lines. We took out yesterday's high, and we're up to R1. Broke through R1, retraced back a little bit. Now looks like we're headed up to R2 at some point. I've got my 20 SMA right here. I really like using the 20 SMA and the 50 SMA. I use the 50 SMA on the 5 minute, or also the 20 SMA on the 5 minute, and on the 1 minute chart I use the 20 simple moving average, and I use the 250, which is basically the exact same as using the 50 on the 5 minute. You can see they're both at the same place, right around 1589, 1589. That's because the 1 minute is 5 times whatever the 5 minute is, so the 50 SMA on the 5 minute is the 250 SMA on the 1 minute, more or less. As you can see, we still have tons of volume coming in. 7K on our volume candles, bunch of delta coming in. This top line is the delta for the NQ. This bottom line is the delta for the ES. Same over here on the 5 minute. This is the delta for the NQ, and the bottom row is the delta for the ES. I like to keep an eye on both of them to make sure they're in correlation ideally, and that way I don't have to have a bunch of extra charts up. I like to keep it simple with just a one screen setup. I don't like having a bunch of screens to look at. I've tried that several times. It just doesn't work for me. I know a lot of people like to trade with 6 screens and that works for them, but I travel a lot. I like to keep it very simple, one screen, and I trade one instrument. So tons of positive delta coming in and tons of volume. We had some news at 10 o'clock. It came out quote unquote bad, which is good for the NASDAQ right now. I think if we break above R2 here, This is my 60-minute chart. We got a nice open window up to 234 at least. And this is the volume profile on the 60-minute. I've got it set to 69 days. That's right, 69-day volume profile on the 60-minute chart. Here's the peak of the move from NVIDIA last week, way up here. So plenty of room before we retest that high potentially. But since the news came out, it's done nothing but just fly up, and this is an insane amount of delta. 6,000 on the ES for a 5-minute chart, and almost 3,900 on one 5-minute chart on the NQ. That's huge for the NQ. So is 29K in volume. I would be fine taking another long, really. This is ridiculous delta coming in right now. And yep, getting in on another long there would have been a great idea. We had the close of the 5-minute. I often like to wait right to the close of the 5-minute to get into a trade. If I've got a candle, huge green candle like this, I mean, there's your price action coming in, just taking note of these huge candles when they come along. It's got tons of volume, 29K, tons of delta. We just broke above R2. And on the longer term 60-minute volume profile over here, you know, if we can come up into this area of low volume, it's just going to get sucked right up into the next volume profile bubble up here. Or as Monkey Man calls, trading the titties. You know, if you look at this sideways, it kind of looks like some titties. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. And you can see this 20 SMA. I love the 20 SMA. I have been using that for years and years. The 20 and the 50 been two of my favorite. And that little tidbit of information I just randomly found watching free YouTube videos one night, and put it to test and back tested it and tried it trading with it live, and just found that I loved it. So that was something that I kept in my system. Order flow, I learned from a couple different trading rooms that I was in the past, and they had the super complex kind of order flow where they show the buyers and sellers at each tick, and I just found it was completely unnecessary for my style of trading to know what happens at each and every tick. I like to just have the basic overview for each candle. That helps keep it simple for me. I like simple, clean, pretty looking charts. That's what's really helped me take my trading to the next level. Too many indicators, too many things to look at, not a good thing in my opinion. But I can show you what this would potentially look like using nothing but free indicators. I've made little extra versions of the 5-minute and the 1-minute chart here. But you can see we've got the support and resistance lines from the pivots that come with NinjaTrader. We got yesterday's close and high and low on here. We've got our 20 SMA. I've got my 250 SMA on the 1-minute and the 50 SMA on the 5-minute. And then I've got volume up and volume down. So this blue and pink histogram, this is the volume up and volume down indicator. And then I've thrown in an instance of constant lines, which is an indicator included with NinjaTrader. But basically I just set a line 1 value to 4,000 because that's the kind of level that I like to look at for the NASDAQ on the 1-minute, 4,000 level. On the 5-minute, I think I've got it at a 7,000. And I've got it drawing one horizontal line, and I just matched the panel to be the same as the volume up and down. My volume up and down indicator is also in panel 4, so that way this constant line shows up on the volume up and down indicator. And I've also got a free version of VWAP and a free version of cumulative delta that I found. The cumulative delta and the VWAP are from Trading Revealed. I think he's got a website. I found it on some kind of forum or blog. I can't remember. If you just search for it, Trading Revealed, he's got a free, I don't know if it's still free, but when I got it, it was free, cumulative delta and VWAP. So this cyan light blue line is the VWAP, and this is the cumulative delta for the NQ, and then the ES below. And I actually really like this indicator a lot. I'll use it with my other order flow indicators right below it sometimes. But you can see we're just really going to the upside with our delta here all morning. But yeah, instead of these volume candles indicator that I have from Ninza, I mean, I love having just a simple number right under the candle. I don't have to have this histogram taking up space. Same with the cumulative delta, really. Like, I love having this little ribbon down here that takes up very little space. I can kind of see from the 5-minute what the general direction of delta has been, over the past hour or so. And then the intraday VWAP Pro from Ninza, I like how I can change the color that it paints depending on if I'm above VWAP or below VWAP. And then I've got the moving average crossover on my 20 line, the moving average crossover indicator from Ninza, and that's painting these candles green or red if I'm above or below the 20 line, the 20 SMA. That really helps me because I'm a very visual person. Yet you can totally trade the 20 SMA indicator, moving average, without any other bells and whistles. It's just nice to have, in my opinion. And I've also got the bar status indicator from Ninza, which is a free indicator from Ninza. So I've got it on my free chart as well. I love having this huge big timer. I can actually make it a lot bigger than this, but having a big timer helps remind me to wait till a candle's closed to get into a trade. The included bar timer with Ninja's just too small for my liking. But yeah, this is a total free way to trade order flow, volume, support and resistance. Have your moving averages on there. If you don't have a bunch of money to invest at the moment, there's always ways to do it. And you can use any kind of order flow indicator, any kind of volume indicator. I have not come across a free volume profile indicator. If anyone knows of a free one, feel free to post it in the chat. I have not come across one yet. Looks like a bunch more delta, a bunch more volume coming in on the NQ and the ES. And like I said, on our 69-day market profile, if we can get out of this bubble, it's just going to get sucked right back up to this next volume profile bubble here. So definitely not interested in shorting right now. There's no reason to short at the moment. This is the system that I've used to get countless funded accounts, tons of payouts. It works for me. I don't know if it would work for everyone else necessarily. I'm a firm believer of finding something that works for you. I think trading is completely a personal endeavor. I know there's a lot of people that like trading Renko charts, range charts, tick charts. I like having the consistency and reliability of knowing exactly when my candles are going to close with the 5 minute and the 1 minute. But yeah, I can lay out this whole system like I pretty much am in total detail, show you how I trade every single day, and in the long run it's never going to click if you don't completely understand it, enjoy it, love it. There's so many different ways to approach trading. I think you really need to find out what your way is, and there's really no way to do that besides just getting in there and putting in the time and the effort, playing around on the charts every day. But yeah, there's links to all these indicators from Ninza that I use. They're the only ones that I promote. I've used so many different indicators from different indicator companies, and so many of them slow down my system like crazy. The Ninza indicators keep up with the market action even when it's crazy volatile, so I appreciate that. Well, I more than appreciate it, it's vital. I used to have charts that would freeze every time we'd get great moves when it's the perfect time to trade and everything's moving and you want to trade and you can't because your indicators are taking up too much data and can't keep up with the price action. So yeah, I've stuck with Ninza. And yeah, like I said, you can do the free version, nothing wrong with that. But with Ninza, I can change absolutely everything about all these different indicators. I can add markers, arrows, any kind of symbols marking the different changes of the moving average crossover, and can add big dots for when the delta is over a certain limit, all kinds of things. But I really do like to keep my charts as simple as possible. I don't like to have a bunch of arrows and markers and things telling me what to do. I like to be able to just look at it and mainly focus on volume and order flow and these different levels of support and resistance and the volume profile on the side. On the 5 minute, I've got a 3-day volume profile loaded, and on the 1 minute, I've got a 1-day volume profile loaded. And then along with all of that, VWAP, super important. It's one of the main things that I'm looking at throughout the day as well. And this 20 SMA, like I said, I love that. Monkey Man's got a whole trading strategy called Penetrating the Pink. There's a whole strategy. You could just have one strategy all based on just the 20 SMA. It's one of my favorite moving averages. Monkey Man also likes his boner candles. Big green boner candles. Sure, he'll tell you all about that in one of his videos. So like and subscribe, as they say. Help a brother out trying to build this channel. I only got one view so far, and it's myself on another account, so I don't know how to get people to watch this stuff. Help. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. Got a bunch of links to get you nice discounts on indicators and Apex, the only funding company that I like using, and Replicanto trade copier. I use that every day. It's amazing. Till next time.